This is SoundOff, Louisiana's premier television sports show, coming to you from Barstool Sportsbook at L'Auberge Lake Charles. Here are the guys, Rick, Scooter, and Kevin.
Welcome in. Glad to have you aboard. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving amongst family and friends. Post-happy Thanksgiving. We got a full panel.
Yeah.
Full panel here at the
I had some good turkey, though, I have to say.
I know, it looks like it, too. You added another 12 pounds. All right, I'm in off IR. I'm coming out of the sick bed.
Hey, but you got to be here, baby.
But
We
I
all
gotta be
go
here.
through those things, man. You got to go through it, Rick.
If I can't talk, there's your extra word.
You can't make the team in the tub. You got to be here, man. You got to be here.
I'm sure.
You got to make the team.
Showing
Rick. You
up
gotta
here.
show up.
All right, great show. In the fourth chair, we're going to have McNeese Athletic Director Heath Schroyer in here to talk about 0-10 football. Can't ignore the elephant in the room.
What is he going to talk about, Rick?
And we'll have him Thursday for a different
Yeah, some basketball stuff. We'll talk Gary Goff and that whole thing, and we'll get into some Southland Conference news as well. All right, so that's going to be fun. Jayden Daniels, he rests his case with the Heisman voters. Did he do enough? Don't answer just yet. We'll get into that.
We definitely have an answer.
Unbelievable rivalry games over the weekend.
They did.
I mean, just blew my mind. All right, no shocker. The New Orleans Saints laid a huge dud after an open week in Atlanta. You're primed and ready to go, I know, but we'll get to that way later on in the show. All right, before we get cranked up, a special shout out to probably the show's biggest fan. A buddy of mine, Mickey Connor, is battling some health problems. He's in rehab at St. Pat's Hospital. He called me over the weekend. He said, I love you guys, but give some love to the LSU offensive line with Jayden Daniels. And I said, we've been doing it all year, Mickey. So special shout out to Big Nick.
That has kind of been the silent stars of that offense. This is one of the best offensive lines.
And they should be good next year. All right, let's get it cranked up. Let's go to Tiger Stadium. Jayden Daniels, look, on the field for his last game in an LSU uni at Tiger Stadium. He's still got a bowl game to play.
Wouldn't you have liked to seen his last game in a real LSU uniform?
I'm okay with the all-white, Scooter.
I love it.
I'm okay with it.
I don't mind the whites. I just don't like monochrome from head to toe.
Rick, Scooter, let me pass this to you guys because it was some mixed emotions at the game that I heard from some of the players and stuff. I thought, Kelly, class act at the end, not punching it in. Because you know what that tells people around the country? If you feel he's got to do this to win it, it never was for him.
No, you're right.
Okay,
you're right.
That's my take.
Look,
I thought that was a class.
Look,
class act on
Daniels
what he did.
rallied them back. This is a back and forth game. We talked about it last week. A&M's defense is for real.
Yeah, their
back and forth
defense
game.
is good.
And Daniels rallied them back with 3 touchdown passes. Did he run
in the
for
fourth
one?
quarter.
Yeah, I mean,
all 4
there you go.
were throws.
I think he cemented the Heisman again, even if I don't think he needed to.
Let me say this. When you look at the situation in its whole totality with LSU this year and everything, how many wins that kid himself gave LSU?
Oh.
That's what you got to look at. I mean, the people that go to vote,
everyone,
they can't look and say, well, stats, this and that, which he's doing pretty good in those areas too. But look at, without this kid at quarterback, LSU has at least 5-6 losses for the year that I'm easily counting.
No doubt.
I wouldn't argue that. And keep in mind, I don't mean LSU has the 2 best quarterbacks in the SEC.
I know where you're going with this.
But they also probably have the best backup.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're 1-2 in the SEC.
Right.
But I don't think anybody else in the SEC has a backup.
Well, we hadn't seen much of that Ole Miss guy, the transfer from Oklahoma State. I thought he was good at Oklahoma State, but didn't get to play much because Jackson Dart had a great year.
You're right.
All right, look, those passes by Jayden Daniels.
That was money.
In the end zone. They were indefensible. They were so good. If that didn't impress NFL scouts, I'm sorry, I don't know what.
It's not the passes, Rick. Let me go a little bit further. The guys that was catching those passes.
There you're on those receivers again.
Dude, how do you put your foot in like that?
I was wrong.
Huh?
I was wrong.
We told you this.
They're good.
We told you at the beginning of the year.
And you were like,
oh, no.
What is he?
Rick.
22 yards from the all-time receiving yards record.
Y'all know the backstory on that.
Quickly on the backstory.
Man, I thought.
Well, he would have broken the record on that 75-yard pass.
Yeah. Got called back.
Got called back. Because Kyron Lacey
hold. And he did hold.
Were you watching on TV?
He did hold.
And
he even knew Scooter.
And then he ends up catching the touchdown pass with a great catch.
It was.
And he gets up and he's just distraught.
Yeah, because he knew.
The announcers were mystified. You know,
He
he's
knew.
got something going on. I got a story in the paper
He knew, Scooter.
Tuesday about it.
Scooter, he knew,
But
Scooter.
There, he makes a great catch for a touchdown, and they're consoling him on the sideline.
Because I think he was just overflowing with emotion
Yeah.
about what he
But
did to his
the
buddy.
bright side, if there was any doubt, Neighbors says, well, yeah, I'm going to play in the bowl now. You know?
Good.
Wow.
But he did break
Unbelievable.
the receptions
Oh, yeah,
record.
he did.
Your old
He
buddy,
did.
Wendell
Davis. Wendell Davis had.
Malik Neighbors.
That's how long
Tell
that
me if
record-
I'm wrong. On the replay of that play, he kind of was looking back. He knew Kyron Lacey did that. I think he
Oh, he
saw
knew
it.
it.
He
did.
stopped
And he
running.
was-
said
he
he
stopped
did.
running.
Rick,
He said he did.
Yeah, because Rick, he put his head down.
Crazy.
Funny thing, he wasn't trying to get into the end zone after he saw that. He just kind of put his head down and back into the end zone.
The emotion that Lacey showed in the end zone and going to the sideline, and then his quarterback going up to him.
Yeah.
That shows you how
And
much
Neighbors.
these young guys care
Neighbors.
Yeah.
for each other.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
It
was
It is.
That was one of the more touching moments.
It really
of the
was.
season.
It was. Hats off to those guys, man. Great job.
check out Thursday's show, Sound Off on CBS Lake Charles. We're going to get into, really dig deep into the legacy of Jayden Daniels. I know he's got another bowl game.
It's
But I really want to get your
we
thoughts on
assume
this, because
he'll
your
play
history
you.
goes back
Yeah.
40
But you know what
years.
we're going to talk about too, Rick, and what you make is a good point too. But notice the guys that we're talking about that are going to be printed in LSU's history books. None of those guys were ever recruited to come to LSU. We never talked about that.
Who?
The two guys we talking about.
Neighbors and Brian Thomas, hold on to that thought.
No. I'm talking about the
they
two
both
quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah,
I'm talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
two
yeah.
quarterbacks.
Oh, two
Hold on to that
I'm talking
thought.
about two quarterbacks.
I'll tell you one thing,
That's
the
what I'm
Max
talking
Bar and Grill at the National Golf Club lives by its
Yes.
name, and they do things to the max. Maximum flavors in all their menu items, maximum service with dining and at the bar, maximum atmosphere
Yes.
with live sports and patio views of the golf course. And they go to the max with the holiday season, Saturday and Sunday brunches, and so much more. It's the Max Bar and Grill.
If it's a story worth telling, it starts with Getaways specializing in me time. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Escapes to soak the day away. And rounds on a course designed by Tom Fazio. Start a story all your own at L'Auberge Lake Charles.
Miller Lite has more taste and only one more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
We're the attorneys Southwest Louisiana has known and trusted for decades. We fought relentlessly for our clients and won. We are proud to announce a new name based on our legacy of success. We are Lundy Law. The name may be new, but our team's commitment to pursuing justice for our clients has never been stronger. From personal injury and maritime cases to insurance claims, mass tort, and civil litigation, you can count on the experienced attorneys at Lundy Law.
What's bugging you?
Is it termites? The season is now and they are swarming. At J&J Exterminating, we offer some very effective weapons against infestation of your home or business. Let us take care of what's bugging you. Don't wait. Contact us now for a free inspection.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
Black Friday is come and gone at Bowie Outfitters in Lake Charles, but not the savings. Everyday great prices on the top names in hunting, fishing, bow hunting, rifles, and shotguns. Brands like Drake and Sitka for camo wearables, Garcia and Penn for the best rod and reel combos. How about Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Browning, and many more in shotguns and hunting rifles?
Yes.
The Boeing department at Bowie's, bar none, the best in the state. All major rigs at great prices. From outdoor cooking to camping supplies, adventure footwear, everything outdoors.
They have
It's
it.
all at Bowie Outfitters, open 7 days a week for your convenience in the holiday season, of course. All right, coming up in the next segment, we're going to welcome into the fourth chair. It's not there just yet because Deirdre doesn't like an empty chair next to it.
Never.
McNeese AD Heath Schroyer will be in
Yes.
to talk about football, the season, the horrendous. Mercifully, it's over. We'll get into a lot of topics
Wow.
with
Wow.
Heath Schroyer from Polk Nation right here on CBS Lake Charles. All right, before we get into the rivalry games, A&M soon to announce, if they haven't already, which by the time we air probably did,
They have.
hiring
No,
Duke coach. They did?
Yeah, they
Duke
did.
coach Mike Elko, who's a former defensive coordinator a couple of years ago. He put Duke on the map in 2 short years. He's going back to A&M. I think it's a solid hire from what I read on the man.
I'll tell you
He's
this.
an Aggie.
I'll tell you this, Scooter and Rick. What A&M won't do, it won't be a 10-year deal. I promise you that. I promise you that it won't be
Probably
a 10-year
not.
deal. No way. No way.
Probably not. You like to
No
hire?
way.
It's a defensive guy, and
I
even
mean, I
in
don't know that much about
No,
Elko.
but
I know the A&M people. It doesn't take much to get them excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're excited about it. He was an assistant. I think he was only there 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Jimbo's first 2 years.
They're better.
Right.
They're better seasons.
Right.
Yeah, 2 of their better seasons. He was a very popular assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Mississippi State hires offensive coordinator from Oklahoma, a guy by the name of Jeff Levy, who's done it everywhere he's gone. I mean, numbers,
has,
numbers,
Rick.
points,
He
and
has.
points.
He has.
Mississippi State going back to offense. But I asked this question, gentlemen. When will Tulane coach Willie Fritz get a call?
I don't know.
What can, I mean, I know he's up in age, 62.
Yeah.
But look at his record with the Green
No,
Wave.
you're right, though, Rick. He's
12-2 last year, beat USC in the Cotton.
Yeah.
11-1, number 23 this year in the polls.
Could he be his age, Rick? Could he be that? Could that be it?
I don't know.
I don't know. But he's
Saban's
won.
old.
Rick, he's turned
62,
he's-
yeah, but
he's
Saban's not starting the program.
Saban's not starting the program.
I
You're right
know,
about that.
I know. That's, I don't know.
He's been there, man.
I think he's a solid. All right.
Well,
minute.
you know,
What you got?
and Mississippi State's a tough place. Oh, we're moving
Yeah,
on.
no, I'm just
Go
saying.
ahead.
I don't know. I think Willie Fritz
Mississippi
may
State-
hang in Tulane. He's making a little under $3 million.
He is. He is.
I
Rick.
might
You got a good
stay. I
point
might
there,
stay in
though.
New Orleans
You
at
do.
Tulane. All right, the
You got a good
rivalry
point.
games. I mean, Alabama and Auburn in the Iron
Man, you're
Bowl.
going to make my head hurt on this one, Rick.
Oh my God! 4th and 32, and Jalen Milroe has, I don't know, an hour to find a receiver in the end zone,
And let me,
and he completes it
you know,
for the win.
let me,
I mean,
It's unbelievable.
I'll let Scooter go and then I'll comment on after Scooter.
I was listening to it driving
Oh,
back
you
from
missed it.
Baton
Oh, it's
Rouge,
unbelievable.
and I could not believe it. I could not believe it.
2 guys rushing. All those guys in the end zone covering all those
And
receivers.
that will go down in history as one of the worst defensive calls ever.
All
But,
right.
but it wasn't just if they execute what they called. In other words, everybody that's back there keeps their eye on the quarterback.
Yeah.
Right.
It's 30, I mean, it's going to be probably 40 yards
Or
time he
longer.
throws it.
Yeah.
Going this way.
If you just kept your eye on him, you've got time to react to the ball, and that's all you had to
But
do.
too
DB,
much. I mean, let me, and I
Do
got to
you
say like
go
this.
with 2 or 3 men, or do you really go to base and
Not
put
no,
pressure on
but
this guy?
no.
3 might have
that's
been enough,
That's the other
but
one I
one
want
of
to use.
them wasn't even
Let me
rushing.
let me
rushing.
say this: when you got a guy like him, when you know the threat of running is there, I can see what the coaches were saying.
He's not
Let's
gonna
put-
run 31
let's put-
yards.
Let's put 2, 5, and 4. Still, as a defensive back, and I got to take up for my guys. Everybody was blasting this kid for turning his back. I get that. You can only cover a receiver for so long. Okay, the advantage goes to the
But
offense.
when you got 8
when
in
you're
the
running
end
around.
zone, you can cover them.
No, you didn't have 8 in the end zone. You only had 4.
You know, they
You
only
had 4.
have what?
You only had 4. But my thing is this, though. When you put only 2 guys rushing him, that is the biggest mistake that defense could have ever made. You telling Milroe, okay, let me find who I really want to throw it to.
Well,
you don't have him running around to throw off guard or something. He could set and throw that dime, Rick.
Exactly, and you know better than
I
anybody.
agree.
You can only kind of cover for so long
You
before
can't do
somebody
that,
gets a
man.
little bit of an opening.
That's all it takes, Rick.
And it was a great throw and catch.
I mean, back in the end zone, that guy was going to be the only one that was going to catch that pass. Nobody else in America was going to catch that pass but him.
It's Alabama, Auburn. Anything can happen.
yeah.
Washington State, great game. Last second field
Yeah.
goal. And then Michigan, Ohio State. Jim Harbaugh serves his time. He's coming back. What
they
is
gonna
this
fire the Ohio State
What
guy?
is the national narrative on Ryan? He's 55-4 outside of Michigan
Yeah.
games. I'll take him in a heartbeat.
Both of those, Michigan and Ohio State,
Yeah.
are 2 jobs where you better beat one team.
You better, and that better be the team, Scooter. Out of both of those jobs, you better beat each other. And I mean, what, he's 0-3?
No, I think he's 1-4. I think he's
Yeah.
1-4, maybe 1-3, something like that. But he has beaten them. And before that, Michigan went on a streak
Oh, yeah,
before
they-
Harbaugh when
they
they couldn't
lost.
beat Ohio
Yeah,
State.
yeah.
So it can happen.
It's-
It was a
look,
great
look.
game.
Yeah.
Another great game. All right.
I didn't see it. It was the same time as LSU.
All right, look, I've stalled enough. Let's talk about the Saints. All right.
I thought I was saying that for last.
I know.
Oh
I know.
my God, Rick, unbelievable.
You're coming
Rick.
off an open date. 5 field goals.
Rick,
no touchdown.
This is
I
the
said
NFL.
it last
This is the
week.
NFL,
Their
man.
biggest flaw is red zone efficiency in scoring. And Derek Carr said it best. They couldn't get any worse.
What did they spend the whole open date on Bourbon Street?
Scooter,
I mean, really?
Scooter.
I don't know.
Look, let me ask this question to you guys, and be honest with me. Do you just start Jameis Winston from here on out? Do you just start him from here on out, Rick?
Who?
Winston.
No.
Rick,
No.
what's going to be the difference?
The
Rick?
pick six was
Tell me-
awful.
Tell me.
The pick six was
That
a
ain't
joke.
the only one, Rick.
Well,
No,
That ain't
it's
the only
not
one,
the
Rick.
only one.
My point is this, Rick.
I just, and I know I say this every week. I sound like a broken record. And yeah, we got spoiled all during the
said that.
Drew Brees.
I said that.
But looking at the body
Out of
language
respect,
at
we'll turn it back
quarterback
up.
and head coach, I mean, do you have it? There was not a minute in that game yesterday when I thought the Saints might
Tell
win.
the truth.
After
Tell the
the
truth.
pick six,
Tell the truth.
They
no
were
way.
done.
I'm with you.
There's no way, Rick. And Rick, let me tell you something. It's got to be frustrating for the defense because they're saying we're trying to keep you in the game.
Oh, they suck too. They suck too.
But
hey,
but
the
thing is-
defense is regressed.
They have
Yeah.
regressed.
But let me say this. When you're down on the 30 going in, Rick, you cannot throw a pick six, Rick. You cannot
Taysom
throw a
Hill
pick six,
loses
Rick.
a fumble. But look, Derek Carr was saying Bates made a great play. No, you stared
no,
down
you
the
stared him
deadgum
down.
Shaheed.
You stared
and he just
him down.
moved on the ball.
You stared him down.
He's
You
a
stared him
veteran. He
down.
knows better than that.
stared him down.
All right,
No,
so
no,
they're
it
still
wasn't a good
technically
play.
tied with the Falcons, but you
Yeah,
give Atlanta the edge because they beat them head to
They
head.
beat them both.
Yeah, but
they
they
beat them
gotta
both
play
times.
No,
again.
just once.
No,
just
they
once.
gotta
All right, we're up
play
against the
again.
clock. Coming up next,
Okay.
we're going to sit down in the 4 chair with McNeese AD
Yes.
Heath Schroyer. Don't go far.
We're the attorneys Southwest Louisiana has known and trusted for decades. We fought relentlessly for our clients and won. We are proud to announce a new name based on our legacy of success. We are Lundy Law. The name may be new, but our team's commitment to pursuing justice for our clients has never been stronger. From personal injury and maritime cases to insurance claims, mass tort, and civil litigation, you can count on the experienced attorneys at Lundy Law.
Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
What's bugging you?
Is it ants? They're crazy, tiny, irritating pests outside trying to get in. At J&J, we offer weapons to locate, eliminate, and prevent their entering your home or business. Let us take care of what's bugging you. Contact us today for a free inspection.
Director Heath Schroyer in the 4 chair on SoundOff, coming to you from the Sportsbook at LaBerge. Welcome back. Happy holidays, Coach. It's been a while.
It has been.
All right, the elephant in the room. All right, any room you occupy, the elephant in the room is 0-10 on the field for football. You know, you've talked ad nauseum about you got to get football right. The decision to retain head coach Gary Goff, how unequivocally easy was it for you?
It was pretty easy. I mean, look, it had nothing to do with, finances or not. It had nothing to do with that. We've had so much turnover in football.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, there are some reasons that people don't want to talk about. With when you have the hurricane, when you go on APR probation, those 2 classes would have been juniors and seniors, or redshirt juniors and seniors this year that just weren't there.
Okay.
All that being said, the product on the field is unacceptable. We needed to make some changes. I had a very, very direct conversation with Gary after the season, the next Monday morning. He understands the expectations moving forward, where we need to be at next year, and there's going to be changes on the staff. There's going to be some restructuring on the staff, and it has to. But Gary has been through this before. He's built programs before. But make no mistake, we're not going to. There's a standard that we have to have for McNeese football that's always been here, and we need to get back to that.
And that ain't it. He already stole my follow-up, so I'm ushering to you. 'Cause
How
my
much
follow-up was changes, so go ahead.
How much input will you have with him on these changes?
I'm going to have a lot more input on these changes than I had when he hired his staff. There's some things we need to do. We need to have, we need to reshuffle some things, and we need to make some, some schematic changes. Look.
What do you mean by schematic change? That's a broad term.
I think just some of the approach. Like, let's talk the defensive side of the ball. We can't give up 5 yards rushing over and over. Can't do that. So what is that going to look like? What different scheme are we going to play? How are we going to fix those problems? It's easy for all of us.
You did a lot of brain picking with him.
100%. Like, look, there's a lot. Like, I've always looked at it this way. It's easy to talk about the problems. Okay, so we recognize the problems, and to me, obviously, the defensive side of the ball is a problem. And our talent level, we got to get back to having McNeese caliber talent. And we have some really good young players, but they need to grow up quick, and we need to add some pieces here. And do a better job evaluating and doing a better job in the portal. We've missed on too many players.
Spot on.
And so, those are the problems. So how are we going to solve those, right? Like, what are we going to do to solve that? So to your point, is are we going to be, 3 down? Are we going to be 4 down? How are we going to change this? Because we have to figure out how to stop the run.
Yeah. Coach, when you talk about schematics, help me understand this. Do we stick with what's there on the field when it comes to offense? Spread, wide open. Is that what McNeese is going to look like? Is that the type of players McNeese can recruit, can get through the portal? Because we're back to square one. If we try to run an offense that we don't have personnel for, where does that put us?
I don't disagree with you, Kevin, and we talked about that too. I said, like when we hired Coach, we talked about, basketball on turf and spreading it out and firing a cannon, scoring, et cetera. We haven't seen that.
Yeah.
So now I think, and he believes that we finally have a quarterback in Six Killer who can do it. That's a big, that's another part of it that we talked about too. Like, what is our identity?
Yeah.
What are we going to be? Who are we? And not just walls on, words on the wall, right? Anybody can throw that stuff up there, but who are, like, when you come watch McNeese football, what are you going to see? I think a lot of it, the majority of our issue comes down to personnel.
Yeah.
We have to do
evaluation and development.
Yeah, for sure. We have to do a better job evaluating and recruiting talent.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's this show, this restaurant.
Yeah.
Any business out there, it is about recruiting and retaining talent.
It is. That's no doubt about it. Yeah. I got one quick question.
Quick follow-up.
We had Will Wade on the show. He sat here and said, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you 23 wins. That's what he said.
Yeah.
When you look at Coach Goff,
it'd be a neat
trick. What is your expectations for him? And that's tough, but I have to ask you because people want to know. Yeah. What are your expectations for him?
We have to win. We have to win football games. Like, enough of the, I get it. There are some things, from a facility standpoint, there's some things that needed to get done. The program was neglected for a long time. I get all that. But we have to win, Kevin. Yeah. Like, we can't go from 0 to 3 or 4. We got to win. Like, we've got to put ourselves in a position to compete for a championship in the Southland next year.
McNeese Athletic Director Heath Schroyer has joined us here at SoundOff at the Sportsbook at LaBerge. You're coming over from Polk Nation. Show airs on CBS Lake Charles Wednesdays at 10:05 with Jim Gazzola. All right, I got to know. You went into some in-depth stuff here with a head football coach, been doing it for a long time. What was Coach Goff's reaction to your picking his brain and really getting down to, look, maybe that 3-down lineman on defense ain't working? What was Gary's reaction?
Sidebar to that, is there any awkwardness in, to be a basketball guy, telling a football guy how to do football?
No,
sports is sports.
Even though you're his boss.
I'll tell you this.
Sports is sports.
I'll tell you this, Scooter. I think it's easier because I've coached. I coached for 26 years, so we all know when it's working and when it's not working. And to be able to sit down, I think it was very healthy.
Yeah.
He was appreciative of not beating around the bush. And, I told him, I said, look, let's talk coach to coach here. Like, it's got to get fixed. And these are questions I've had. These are things that I've assessed, recruiting and development of our talent. Look, our program is healthy in a lot of ways. The culture is really good. Like, a lot of things are fixed. He's an unbelievable guy, and he does it with integrity. Yep. All that being said, we have to win football games. But he was very open-minded. It was, and I came in, I said, look, I'm here because I want to try to be part of the solution. Yeah. I'm not here to browbeat people, but there's some things that need to get fixed.
Yep. We have attempted, I've reached out to Gary Goff to be on the show. Had some schedule issues over the next few weeks, but we are going to get Gary Goff on this show. He's not dodging us. He's not that kind of guy. He's going to come on and talk to the fans and that kind of thing. Thursday night show on CBS Lake Charles for SoundOff, Heath Schroyer will be with us again. We'll talk basketball. Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about football. We're going to get into the anticipated Will Wade's return to the bench and how this basketball. So we appreciate you coming in.
Thanks.
We're going to see you later in the week.
You got it. Thank you.
Well, that's going to wrap it here from the Sportsbook at LaBerry. We'll see you next time, everybody.
If it's a story worth telling, it starts with Getaways, specializing in me time. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Escapes to soak the day away. And rounds on a course designed by Tom Fazio. Start a story all your own at LaBerge Lake Charles.
Now's the perfect time to enjoy your amazing backyard. Unless you have a mosquito problem, contact the experts at J&J Exterminating and take advantage of $50 off initial service. Make this summer the best ever with J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
Miller Lite has more taste and only one more calorie than Michelob Ultra.